Hi, this is Ryan, and this is for my class again. And this is issue number 8, children's issues. And I just wanted to start off today. This is my sister Kelsey, and I'd like to interview her to start off. I didn't practice this with her or anything. I'm just going to ask her questions I came up with, and she's going to answer them on the spot.
Okay.
Thank you, proudly. Alright, Kelsey, how do you know when something is cool?
I guess if you see it on TV, or if you see that other people have it.
Okay, and does that play a role in who you think that you are, like as a person?
Not really, 'cause I don't really like to do what other people do. I like to be different.
Okay, well that makes me think of it, like, in being different, are you different with a group of people or on your own?
I guess I'm different with a group of people, but there's always something that makes you different from that group of people you're with.
So it's a difference within a
Different,
difference?
yeah, I guess so.
Okay, and who are you? If I asked you, like, who are you? How would you explain that to people? So who is Kelsey Cassidy?
Kelsey Cassidy is a fun, loving person who likes sports and likes to sing and be adventurous.
Okay, thank you very much. That's my interview.
No problem. That was so much fun.
See you later. Alright, thank you. Okay. I thought her answers were interesting because my first question to her was, what does she perceive as cool? And one of the first things she said was that there was things you see on TV or things that everybody else wants, which relates heavily to the videos we saw about like MTV and commercialization, and how that plays a role in who kids have become today, or so we think, but I'll get back to that later. And then also in the videos it also talks about kids rebelling against the norm to be different and almost unique. They don't want to be stuck in this media driven world, but at the same time they're conforming to this whole other like alternate society almost. And like the kids that like the insane clown posse, and then it turns out that the band was like a sellout and ended up taking like a contract with a big label. So yeah, I just have to regather my thoughts. I'm sorry. But anyway, lastly I asked her who she is, and she described herself in terms of different groups, I guess. She likes sports and athletics, which is good, but it's another group that people identify themselves with. She did say some things about herself, that she likes to have fun and is loving, but you'd hope most people would be that way. And now I want to start with that same question I asked who she was. Who am I as a person? And I think that really depends on the type of life someone leads. That you can get to the issues that we talked about in the very beginning of the class, like nature versus nurture. That's a whole another can of worms, so I'm going to stay away with that. But I'm going to be talking more about, it's actually both the way somebody's brought up and the environment they're brought up. Both have a lot to do with the type of life one leads. And the first one I want to talk about is the media, like MTV and the stuff we saw. You see all these kids that are sexually driven, and that's because it's all they see in the media, TV, books, movies, magazines, like scantily clad people and erotic themes on television shows. So it all gets like jumbled up in the mix of growing up and puberty. It's a big change in someone's life, and it's all based on like sexual reproduction almost, and hormones are pumping and yeah, stuff like that, of that nature. So when you're a teenager, lots of things relate back to sex, but you don't want that to become your whole persona. Like they're talking about mooks, how it's like a created persona of men that act goofy and they just they're horny all the time. And then the image that was created for women, the midriffs, and how they're just like objects of desire, they're objects of sex, and they're happy to be that object. But to get stuck in that type of life, I think you have to be somebody you have to be able to afford a TV and at least see the media a lot, as opposed to another type of life like growing up on the streets. You'll probably still be influenced by some media, but I don't know if it's going to be the same as if you live in a house with a huge flat screen TV, as opposed to walking around all the time. Maybe see magazines on the streets and like TVs and windows, but you're not going to be exposed to the same type of things. And then like I spoke about last week, you can get involved in gangs, and that heavily influences people. Once you get involved with a gang, there's initiations. People are asking you to do new things that you've never done before, and you can get lost in the hype of being part of this group. Mob mentality. And then when everything's said and done, it's like, is that person even you anymore? Or is it just who you've become, or like created an alternate persona for yourself because of the environment that you're in? You feel that you should act that way because everybody else is doing it, and that's all you see. And after a while, maybe you pick up mannerisms or actions. I hope not actions if it's a negative environment, but I think the big difference between the new articles and videos we got this week are, how does the question, who am I, come into play when people can't help the situation they're in? Like when people have ADD or ADHD and things like bullying, you can't help it if you're a victim of bullying. And in one of the videos that we watched, there's a boy named Alex, and for him, he had both. He had ADD, he couldn't focus, and a bullying problem mixed together. So then that links to the articles we read about depression and loss. It's not the same type of loss. I guess I'm just referring to loss of maybe interest or motivation in things that he used to have interest in. But school became really tough for him because it was the double whammy with ADD. He couldn't concentrate or pay attention in class, and then he would be disappointed in himself, like, why can't he focus? Why is he different than the other kids in the academic aspect? And then recess and things like that, he wouldn't get a break either because he'd be picked on and bullied by other kids, and he just never caught a break. It drove him to the point where he attempted to kill himself in school. So his parents have to get involved, and it's a big decision for them. They're not exactly sure how they're going to handle this situation right away. But this video is going to end in a second, so I'll make a second part. Thank you.